Hello. This is KSKQ 89.5 FM in Ashland, Oregon. You are listening to Your Entrepreneurial Ear with Gary Einhorn, local business coach, business consultant. Your Entrepreneurial Ear is on the air every third Wednesday of every month from 3 until 3:30. And this afternoon, we have with us Jewel Baldwin. And welcome, Jewel.
Thank you, Gary. Thanks for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here.
And you're welcome. And Jewel is a relationship coach and educator in Ashland. Jewel, I'd like to start by asking you, you call your business Pleasure on Purpose. Why did you choose that name?
Great. Thanks for asking. So the name for my business actually comes from kind of my core philosophy, which is, originates from the point of view that we tend to live in what I would call a no pain, no gain consciousness in our world that really, I think, stems from kind of a heavy Puritan work ethic that this country was founded on. And that we have a lot of conditioning that says that, if it's not painful, you're not getting very far in life. And my point of view is that we really need to shift now into a pleasure-based way of being, a pleasure-based way of thinking and responding to life. And that, when that pleasure is coming from a purposeful and deliberate place, our chances of having a happy and joyful and fulfilling life increase. So Pleasure on Purpose really speaks to that and, to the clients that I work with who are really looking to have more fun in life, because I think that's really what we're here for, is joyful, fun, fulfillment, increasing our level of connection and intimate relating, because that's where the juice is, and that's what we're all after.
Great. So, Jewel, how did you get into this work? What propelled you to do this work?
Well, truth to tell, in my late 20s, which was quite a few decades ago, I went through a very painful and short marriage and divorce. And I came out the other side of what was a really traumatic, kind of hit me, blindsided part of my life, transition in my life. And I realized I had no idea what I was doing in relationship, especially with members of the opposite sex and intimate relating. I just realized I hadn't a clue. And I had the great fortune with the job I was working at the time to be transferred to the San Francisco office. San Francisco, the heart of transformation and all kinds of new thinking. And I really just made it my business to educate myself about women, about men, about relationships. How does this work? And I realized, one of the powerful things that came out of that painful transition was that I realized I didn't know what I didn't know about how to be successfully related to members of the opposite sex. And so I just made it my mission and purpose, and I was grateful to find an incredible community of people out at Lafayette Morehouse, the Moore University community, that really afforded me a really deep and rich education in this arena. And so I have also taken that education and really used my life as a laboratory and tried on all the different possible ways of, being related intimately in a way that works, and definitely learning from my mistakes. So it's been a wonderful journey.
Excellent. And it is true that when you don't know what you don't know, that's even more of a challenge, isn't it?
Most definitely. I think the first part of recognizing, just being willing to recognize that there's blind spots, and that, we all assume that we should know how to do this. And the truth is we haven't been educated. There's no courses. Most of our parents have not been fabulous role models for how to be really successfully and authentically and deeply related, especially across the gender line. And so, we really do now need to dig deep and find the resources that we need to understand and clear up some of that not knowing, so that we can move forward with more grace. And that's what my work's about, what I do my best to offer people so that I can maybe save them some trouble.
Yes. And who are your typical clients?
Well, the truth is I work with women, I work with men, and I work with couples. So a lot of women come to me who are frustrated, many of them wanting to get into a relationship that's more healthy and more nurturing and more fulfilling for them. Maybe they've had a lot of losses in the past. They may feel like they are really stumbling, and try as they might, it continues to not work out very well. So a lot of the work I do is with single women who are really looking to get a leg up and to have a deeper understanding and kind of get their hands on the levers and dials of what is it to be related to a man in a way that is powerful and fun for them. So I really enjoy working with women a lot, obviously being a woman, and I'm having, learned a lot about that particular journey. So women are some of my most important clients. I also work with men who are in a similar place, who may have tried and failed with women over the years. Also with men who are maybe in a committed relationship but are struggling and feeling like there's a level of suffering happening that's unnecessary. And sometimes I can just say a few things to men that resonate from, I can sort of see from a man's point of view what they're struggling with in relationship to the feminine. And in my coaching work, sometimes just a few little light bulbs go on, and it can really transform the whole condition in a very short time. So, and then the third category, of course, is couples. Mm-hmm. Couples who are just, people come to me when they are struggling and they don't see a way through. And I always feel like it's just so powerful. We think we're just supposed to stay in our little, cubicles and figure it out for ourselves. And if we can't figure it out by ourselves, then, what's wrong with us? But the truth is, I think it's an incredible act of power on the part of individuals and couples to ask for help, to be willing to say, you know what? I cannot figure out how to do this by myself, and that's okay. It's really an act of strength, in my opinion, in my view, to just say, hey, there may be something we don't know about what's going on here, and how can we ask for help, and how can we empower ourselves to have it be more fun?
Great. You are listening to Your Entrepreneurial Ear. This is 89.5 FM KSKQ Community Radio in Ashland, Oregon. And this is Gary Einhorn, local business coach. And I'm talking with and interviewing Jewel Baldwin, a relationship coach and educator in Ashland. Jewel, what do you think, and this is a question I imagine couples really want to know, is what do you think is the most important thing for couples to know and understand?
Well, it's a great question, and there are many answers, but I would say the most succinct one that I can give today is that couples need to learn how to communicate. And, one of my great teachers said that great sex is a function of great communication. And so when we're communicating, when we're willing to be honest, when we can create a safe space for one another to share our hearts and tell our truth, then, miracles happen, energy flows. We, can fall back in love with each other on an almost daily basis when we're willing to create structures, safe, supportive structures for real and honest communication. And I think one of the things that can most quickly shut down the flow of love of in an intimate couple situation is when one or both parties stop telling the truth to each other. They stop communicating. They decide that something that they're harboring in their heart is too scary or would cause damage or would cause the other person to be upset. So what they do is they withhold that information. They withhold that feeling. They withhold what I call a level of charge that they're experiencing in the relationship, and then they just sweep it under the rug. And so what happens is that pattern of sweeping under the rug starts to build momentum, and people start experiencing being further and further apart. And all of a sudden they kind of look over there and they go, well, I don't even really love this person, and why am I in this, and what's the point of this? And it's amazing how much just the simple lack of sufficient communication can cause an enormous amount of separation. So what I always do with couples is I teach them some really potent communication tools right out the gate, without which, in my life anyway, I can't imagine how I would have survived. So communication is the key, and I just commend people who are really willing to give it the time and attention that it deserves.
And it seems as if truth is the variable in this, isn't it? And I'm curious as to what you think is the barrier for couples telling their truth to each other. Why would that situation develop?
Well, there's a one-word answer to that great question, and that is fear. We just get stopped by fear. We make up a point of view that if we were really to be deeply honest, we would, hurt their feelings, cause harm, cause them to run away from us, what have you. And, and people, based on their past experiences, when it hasn't gone well, they kind of project that forward into the current situation. But the truth is that I think, my opinion is, that we all really deeply appreciate the truth. And on some level, we're always feeling that truth energetically, even if it isn't being overtly spoken. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times I find that, I'm looking over there at my partner, I can feel something's a little bit off, and I kind of go, well, is it me or is it him? And then when we set up a space for just really dropping in and being honest with each other and making it very safe to do that, we move mountains and miracles happen, and the container actually gets deeper and richer the more we're willing to put our honesty on the table and really share our hearts with each other.
Jules, what do women want most from men? And then, of course, the opposite. What do men want most from women? That's an interesting one. I'm really curious to hear the answer to that one.
Right.
Actually, those two.
The $1 million question there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Great. Well, I will start first with my experience of what women want most from men. Mm-hmm. And my viewpoint about that is that women actually want an experience of feeling safe in the presence of the masculine. Mm-hmm. And, we live in a pretty evolved world. Since the 60s, women have just, taken an enormous amount of ground in, politics and finance and law, and, women have advanced greatly in terms of their careers and their positions of power and authority in the world. Mm-hmm. But the truth is that we still live in a culture, in a conditioned culture that is still largely run and determined by men, and we've inherited, several millennia of that patriarchal kind of. Yeah, the dirty word, but I'll have to say it anyway. And so women, in a way, have been denied their deeper feminine expression, and in order to fit in and win and compete in a world that's run by men. So women have had to really suppress parts of themselves and shut down their throat chakra and sort of protect their sexual center and all of that to fit into this world and land on the playing field in a competitive way. And nothing wrong with that. However, I would say that women, because of that, have really had to deny some of their feminine power, which really comes from their Shakti force. It comes from their sexual center, and it also comes from their throat, their willingness to tell their truth and express it fully into this world that doesn't necessarily want to hear it very clearly. So, so for me, a man who's willing to really pay attention to the woman in his life, to really listen deeply, to be very interested in how she's feeling, what she's wanting, what she has to say, is a great gift. And I always deeply appreciate the men in my life who, can really honor me on that level and make a safe enough space for me to be my feminine self, not, just truly be myself in a woman's body and be responsive and respectful of that and honoring of that. So that's what my experience is of most women, that we really want that from men.
And what men want most from women,
Yeah, so a little bit different because, we we are two different genders and we are actually organized very differently. John Gray saying men are from Mars and women are from Venus. That there's a lot of truth to that. We've had to become sort of homogenized as a gender, kind of gender blindness for the sake of equality, if you will. But the truth is, in my experience, we have really compromised the power and potency of the difference in our genders and really learning how to play and win with that. So men, in my experience, mostly just want to win in life. And I don't mean necessarily win like climbing the corporate ladder or win on the professional, football field or whatever, although that too. But men want to feel that what they produce and what they provide is being appreciated and seen. So, and especially by women. And in particular, men are just such finely tuned responders. They can respond to all kinds of situations and they respond very well to women, but they really want to be appreciated. They want to be seen. They want to be acknowledged. They want to be noticed for what it is they are producing and providing. And they also want to know. So men really want to know clearly from women. And one of the, binds that a lot of women get into is they just assume that men should know what they want. Well, it doesn't work that way. Men cannot read our minds. That's not how they're designed. In fact, how they're designed is to have very clear and specific information about what it is that will please us as women so that they can have a shot at delivering it, Because that helps, right? You guys want a good crack at it. And the clearer we can make it, the better for all of us. So anyway, my experience is that men really want to win, especially in relationship with women, and they want to win by producing and providing something of value, and what they want from women is a clear and overt articulation of what a woman is wanting and needing so that they can have a good shot at being her hero.
Excellent. This is KSKQ Community Radio, 89.5 FM in Ashland, Oregon. You are listening to Your Entrepreneurial Ear with Gary Einhorn interviewing Jewel Baldwin, relationship coach and educator in Ashland, Oregon. And at this time, I want to acknowledge one of our underwriters, St. Clair Productions. St. Clair Productions is pleased to be an underwriter of KSKQ 89.5 FM Community Radio in Ashland, Oregon. St. Clair Productions' 18th annual Eclectic Music and More series continues with a wide variety of folk music. Legends of the Celtic Harp perform on Saturday, February 1st, and Bill Evans presents The Banjo in America on Friday, February 7th, both at Ashland's Unitarian Fellowship. For tickets, visit stclairevents.com, call 541-535-3562, or go to the Music Coop. KSKQ thanks St. Clair Productions and listeners like you for supporting community radio. And before we proceed, Jewel, if people wish to get in touch with you, what is the best way for them to do that and to use your services if they so wish?
Great, Gary. Thanks for asking. So as I said earlier in the interview, my website, the name of my website and my business is www.pleasureonpurpose.com, and that's a really great way to learn more about who I am, learn about the programs and workshops and all the kinds of coaching offers that I have available at this time. People are also free to call me directly. And that number would be 541-890-5095. And I wanted to just specifically mention in honor of this occasion of this interview that I'm actually putting out an offer for 3 free coaching sessions for anyone that should contact me in the month of January. So we got a couple more weeks. 3 complimentary coaching sessions for new clients. And, just to get a flavor of my work and to see what's possible and bring your issues and questions, whether you're a single woman, a man, or a couple, so we can cook it up together and see if we can bring more fun and fulfillment to your life.
That's a great offer, Jewel. And also, Jewel's email address is on her website. And lastly, before we finish our program, I'd like to know, what is the next step for you, Jewel, with your work?
Great. I'm happy to let you know that I am in the process of writing my first book. The title of the book is Winning with Women, a conversation for men and the women who love them.
Wow.
So I'm really excited about it. It's material that I've been working with for many, many years, and I'm having a great time just really putting it in writing, making it very simple and straightforward, giving men really a roadmap for how to win with women at a higher level, really wherever you are in the playing field. Whether you're a young man that you're just looking to see how to get into this man-woman relationship game and equipping yourself with some tools and distinctions that would help you be more effective in that arena. So for younger men, for guys later in life who maybe have had a couple of relationships that haven't turned out so well. And so you're kind of looking for some answers like, what happened? It seemed really good in the beginning, and then all of a sudden she was mad and she left. What the heck did I do? Or what happened? And what was going on there? So my intention is to provide some really clear explanations and answers so that you, as men, can really understand that more clearly, and including men who may have been in a relationship for many years. Sometimes my clients are couples who have been together for 20 plus years, and they just kind of don't know how to move forward to keep it juicy and exciting and alive. And so I'm going to have a section of my book that's really going to be addressing that condition specifically for guys. And I'm hoping the women will be really interested in this book too, and will encourage the men in their lives to get a copy. It's going to be an ebook, so it'll be available off my website, easy to download. Not sure how I'm going to price it yet, but it'll be very accessible to everybody. So I'm really looking forward to making just all of my information a lot more available so that people can really have some fun with that.
And the projected date for completion, is there one?
Well, that's always a good question with the book, right? But I'm intending to have the final draft completed this month. So that'll be early February, and then still looking to locate somebody to edit and do a final production for me on the copy. But I'm figuring by February. My goal is like Valentine's Day, middle of February, to have it ready to go and available. So that
good timing. Valentine's Day.
I hope so. Yeah.
This is KSKQ 89.5 FM Community Radio in Ashland, Oregon. You are listening to Your Entrepreneurial Ear with Gary Einhorn interviewing Jewel Baldwin, relationship coach and educator. And before we leave the program, I'd like to ask Jewel again to give her contact information so that people can write this down or make note of it. to get in touch with Jewel when one so desires.
Great, Gary. Thanks again. So, again, my web address is www.pleasureonpurpose.com, and I can be reached by phone at 541-890-5095. And again, I want to reiterate that I am offering the first 3 people who call me in the month of January who are new clients, I'm offering 3 complimentary sessions this month. So look forward to hearing from you, and really appreciate having this time to talk about my work, Gary. Thanks so much.
Oh, you're welcome, Jewel. It's been a pleasure having you on the show, and I wish you all the best.